In a small village called Vada, on the banks of the river Indus, Ramesh D Grover, or RDG, as he was lovingly known, was born to Sri Chandrabhan and Srimati Uttam Devi in the year 1945. He was one among 10 siblings in a middle-class family that had one earning member. Following his father's job, his family left the village to go to live in Lahore, now in Pakistan. The conditions of his childhood were extraordinary, considering the socio-political upheaval prevalent in India at that time. The entire country was in a state of flux with the ongoing partition of Pakistan.
The interesting story told by my grandmother to me about my father was that during partition time, when they migrated, when my father's family migrated from Lahore to Delhi on train tops and what have you, my father had a bit of a stomach issue, and which led to a lot of discomfort for the other fellow passengers. At that point, the fellow passengers wanted to pick him up physically and throw him out of the train. My grandmother held on to him for 24 hours, close to him, so they wouldn't have any reach or any access to him. Well, if she didn't do that, then we wouldn't have the kind of innovations and solutions that we do in India today.
By the time the exodus settled down at the end of 1947, RDG's father got a job in railways and the family finally relocated to Delhi, but not before they had to let go of everything they had. RDG was just 2.5 years old. Nobody would have guessed that within this toddler was the potential to change the fortunes of a nation. RDG studied at the DAV school in Delhi along with his brothers. He was a very active child, always filled with mischief. Studies were never his priority, until one day his father confronted him with the question of what he would like to be when he grew up. He said emphatically that he wanted to be an engineer. His father explained to him that in order to achieve his dream, he would need to get good marks in school. Quick to realize the importance of education, RDG channeled his energies into studies with great intensity. RDG's impressive scores in higher secondary earned him a seat in the Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani, with a merit-cum-means scholarship of 75 rupees per month. Although he was studying mechanical engineering, RDG discovered a deep passion for electronics.
He was studying in Pilani, and then he used to assemble radios, transistors, and sell it to his friends. And that is how he made his pocket money. And many times he has told me that my father never spent on the books. I used to study by making other people, teaching them, from their books. I used to study.
The depth of his understanding of electronics was so great that a final year professor remarked about RDG, "A guy from mechanical engineering is better in electronics than all of you." RDG's first job was a brief stint at L&T, after which he joined IBM in India and started his impressive career.
In IBM, we were in Express Towers in Nariman Point in the customer engineering, and Mr. Grover was known to be the best engineer to fix the legendary IBM 1401.
He used to solve all the problems all over the country. If there was any problem, any customer engineer was stuck in Delhi, Madras, he was being called from here. There's a saying in a magazine, with Grover all our problems are over,
RDG grew very quickly at IBM. In 3 years, he was promoted to the prestigious position of customer manager. He picked up several awards and gained very high recognition. It was just a matter of time until RDG decided to quit employment and think of his own business.
When you're working in such a large multinational organization, it is, many people said, you must be crazy to leave this job.
And when he was planning to leave the job, all night I didn't sleep because I was so tense. I said, I don't know what will happen, such a good job, he's leaving. He told me one word. He's saying, Raju, tere ko bhook nahi marunga. That's it.
Even as RDG's business was fledgling, the timing of the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, FERA, of 1974 could not have been more perfect. The act put an end to IBM's monopoly. Simultaneously, RDG had convinced two of his ex-IBM colleagues, Ramadurai and VK Prasad, to join him in his entrepreneurial plans.
We all took a leap, and 3 of us, in fact, we started off this company.
The 3 of them started Computer Maintenance Services, or CMS, as most people know it today. In 1978, IBM wound up all its operations in India and transferred all its maintenance business to CMC. However, some large corporate clients such as Philips, BSES, ACC, Premier Automobiles, Glaxo, and Union Carbide chose to engage with CMS instead. In 1984, CMS acquired UK-based Systime Computer Systems and became one of India's first truly end-to-end IT solutions company. The trio of RDG, Ramadurai, and VK Prasad grew CMS from a single brand maintenance company to a diversified IT solutions company with a strong presence in areas such as smart cards, traffic systems, security systems, ERP, printing systems, and cash management.
He was just starting a new business of traffic signals, and I was highly impressed with the man. And though he was new in the business, but the in-depth knowledge, I was really mesmerized, and he got the contract.
My father defined the word entrepreneurship. That word barely existed in India when he first started his various businesses 35 years ago. My father defined customer first as a core value for our group, and his 17 business models all stemmed from the customer.
If I drill down to all our businesses, every one of them is an insight into a customer need, which is translated into a business organization for us. A lot of the times, like for traffic, for energy management, or even for security solutions, we didn't have India had the need, but we did not have India prices, quote unquote. So what he did is that he created 3 R&D centers. I remember at one point we had 3 R&D centers spread across India, one in Pune, one in Bombay, one in Trivandrum, where we created products.
Year after year, CMS scored very high in customer satisfaction surveys, and there was no stopping its growth into the big league of major IT players.
RDG decided to divest part of the company and get a new infusion of funds so that the next stage of growth comes in.
In 1971, RDG married his lady love, Raju. Their loving relationship formed the strong foundation for RDG's spectacular career through thick and thin.
He was in my building, and then when I was learning driving, I used to get always stuck with reversing the car. He came out to help me, and that is how it got stuck in the reverse gear, and we met each other that way.
Beyond all the fame and success, RDG was a complete human being.
To go and work from the guest room because the light used to bother me from up,
He would work 7 days a week, 15 hours a day, and he would always have a smile on his face through each and every one of those hours. He seldom took vacations, and he spent his time in the office. That was a vacation for him.
I remember this one time when my brother and I sat with my father and asked him, what drives you? What motivates you to work this hard? And anybody who knows him knows that he pretty much only worked. And his answer to that was, I have 18,000 people, families to support. If I don't work, then what's going to come of them?
He was very compassionate and kind. Didn't really speak as much as I said. But whenever he would come just to meet in, on the way back from his busy schedule, he would just drop in once, maybe around 8 o'clock at night, and he would ask me how I was, and if there's anything that he could do for any poor patient, and he would just probably take out some money and give for the patients. A very, very kind and philanthropic side, but he never liked that part of his life to be discussed. And he always made it a point that his name never came up as a big donor. He brought in the papers of the hospital land, the land which he wanted to give it for the hospital. When I was going through that, I saw that there was a lot of work done on this particular plot, and one of the leading architects of the city had already worked onto a corporate office project on this particular thing. And it looked very impressive, very valuable in the long term, and I was really surprised. I said, Ramesh ji, why are you letting go of such a valuable asset for a project? He said, no, Ramanji, it is my dream. I would like actually my organization to benefit to come to the benefit of common people. I can see a lot of people who cannot really take the benefit of organized treatment, and I would like that to happen here in this particular area.
Especially when he was in IBM, he had more time, He used to help me with the children. He's very fond of his grandson.
Ramesh Grover was simple, a humble man at first. He was a great father, a great husband, and a fabulous employer.
I've been 25 years, with the group, and if I've looked at most other divisions, most of the leaders, have been, with the group, for long, grown through the ranks, and have been here with the company, and have kind of made it big. So he always identified talent, would, feel that this is the person who can take it to the next level, encourage them. He would at times make it very, very difficult for us. We would at times, lose our cool. He would lose his cool, but he never had an ego. I think ego was something that, he never had. We would probably have arguments, and then, probably, late in the evening, he'd probably, put his hand around your shoulder and take you out for a drink as well.
Especially on his birthday, once a year, he would freak out, That was the day of his life.
And he would pull people up, make them dance, ask for, his favorite music, and just take on the dance floor as if he was giving competition to Rajinikanth.
One thing I didn't realize is that he's always having fun. He's having fun 365 days of the year. And he's doing that because his work and the passion that he had to make a difference, to not only be a visionary, but also accomplish his hopes and dreams and actually execute and innovate for his customers and his employees is what made him wake up every morning and give it his best.